There are quite a few things that they don't tell you when you start at university, and that's a missed opportunity and actually quite important. So I'd like to give you a roadmap of three important elements, such that you can navigate these three elements. And these three elements are almost always overlooked, and therefore the importance of it. But a bit on myself first. I'm Frederick. I started initially as a struggling student at university. For the very simple reason I was using the wrong study method. And when I was fine-tuning my approach to it, I was able to graduate with a great distinction, publication, and a small product, a life science product that I co-discovered, and they are still selling today. So I basically know what I'm talking about. That said, I also continued with a doctorate degree in molecular biology, biochemistry, and also had a postgraduate degree in strategy and innovation at the University of Oxford. Now, what about going to university? And that's an element that they always forget to mention is it's very much about the transition. You come from an environment that is stable, structured, close family, supportive family, and high school, more or less structured. Sure, it might be not always being perfect for everybody, but it's something you recognize, something that you're familiar with. And if you go to university, it's pretty much an open, semi-structured environment, and nobody tells you what to do or in what order. Nobody checks on you. You have a lot of freedom, and there are a lot of skills that you are missing to navigate these waters. So therefore, this video. If you look at exams and study towards exams, in high school it's very straightforward, easygoing, very much like a day trip, like a walk in the park, so to speak. While at university, it's a bit more than that. It's about climbing mountains. It's a massive workload. So it's not like walking in the park anymore. It's massive work. And there's not only one mountain to climb, there are multiple mountains to climb, multiple courses to take, multiple exams to finish. And some of these courses will be easier for you and some will be pretty difficult. So you will be busy. And the three things they forget to mention you are the following. First of all is the study hours required. Each country or even continent has a different study system overall, but on average, you will be needing between 1,500 and 1,800 hours to pass one academic year. Again, it depends on the course you take and the study direction, but it's about 1,500 to 1,800 hours. Now, in Europe, for example, they use the ECTS system as a European Credit Transfer and Accumulation System. It's just a way to measure the efforts you've done. And they say you need 60 credits for one academic year, 60 of these credits, in Europe at least. And one of these ECTS credits stands for 25 to 30 hours. That means contact hours, basically being in the class, but also time studied. But overall, you end up with 1,500, 1,800 hours needed. What's often forgotten also that an academic year is only 9 months on average, 36 weeks. It's not 12 months, it's about 9 months, some 9 to 10 months. But if you translate that, it means that these 1,500 hours, 1,800 hours represents about 42 to 50 hours study a week, at least work each week. So it requires a big shift from what you've been doing at the high school. It requires time management, it requires energy management, how you balance your workload. It requires a disciplined approach, a consistent approach. And yeah, you need to be able to pull it off. To give you an idea about 500 hours, if you, for example, would be working from Monday to Friday, 4 hours each day, and consistently Monday to Friday, and you do it for 6 months, that is about 500 hours. So you can imagine how many hours you need to be working and studying to pass your academic year. Now, so the first thing what's really critical for you to know is what study system is being used in your university or in your country. How many contact hours and study hours does it represent? But also you need to understand, I guess, that some courses will take much more time than others. So, and it's also very critical to start tracking your time studied. How else will you know where you are in all these journeys, all these mountains? Because you have a lot of different mountains. Some mountains will be very big courses. But if you don't track your study time, you have no clue where you are in your progress. So, very critical. The second element is the study methods that are being used. And most likely you come from using an environment where a high school where you've been using a study system that worked fine for easy courses and easy environments. But at university, that is not going to work anymore. So they did the study ones on 1,600 students before they went to university and after they were at university. And they looked at, okay, what study methods they'd be using. And the study method that everybody's promoting on social media, online, and maybe also your colleagues, they'll say it's the achievement-oriented study method. It's about pushing through and putting in the hours. Yes, hours are important, but they was like pushing through. It's a hardcore approach. The problem, though, it gives only average study results. So it's not the best method. The second method that they found in that study was that about 20 to 25% of the students were using the meaning-oriented study method, meaning they were deep diving in the course. They were really interested in the course, but by doing so, they lost focus, and they knew a lot at the end, but they're not sufficient. They were not ready for the exams, and they failed. And that study method is negatively linked with study results. It's the worst approach you can do. So you need to step away from it. And the third method is so-called the non-reproductive study method, where it's about understanding first and then building on top of that. It's a very different way of thinking and approach. It's building up this foundation and building and going onwards. And that is shown to be highly, highly, highly beneficial for almost all students. Now, that said, some courses you will have to push through and memorize a lot, but most of the courses, it's about understanding and then building on that. So it's important for you to understand that most likely you will have to switch your study system. And that is a change. And if you're not used to that change, if you're scared and you will hold on to the old way of working, that will cause problems. The third element is habits. As you understand, you will go to an environment which is, let's say, more chaotic in a way because there's less structure. You have to structure your life yourself as an individual in your private life and in student life. But it's about becoming self-sufficient, effective, efficient, productive. And it means that you need to install new habits and remove old habits. And it's about change. It's a lot about change. And if you're not used to that and if you know how to do it, there are two books I can recommend to you. One is called The Atomic Habits and the other one is called The Power of Habit. Very similar books, but very worthwhile to read at the very start of your academic year. Because it will help you understand that, hey, what do I need to change in my way of working such that I can succeed my academic year. So, 3 items, often overlooked, not mentioned, not covered, not taught. But the advantage, though, is when you grasp these 3 elements, it will help you also later in your career, not only in the next coming years at university, but also in your professional life, because a lot of these elements are very similar. How to learn something, how to adapt to a new environment, and how to move forward. So I definitely wish you all the best in applying these 3 items or these 3 elements and to be aware of it. Nevertheless, look, I wish you the very best in the upcoming year, upcoming months, and your academic year, and make it happen. And for those that are interested in studying at universities, I have designed 2 couple of courses that might be very helpful for you. So you can look at my website, fasttrackuniversity.io. One is how to memorize very quickly a large amount of data without any efforts and without any mistakes in the end. It's called the Memory Palace. But also have a second course on a foundation program where I show you how you as a student, university students, can succeed at your studies at all levels. And it's a program that is a full complete system such that you can succeed your exams with great distinction. To illustrate you, this is a course on the super memorization course. It's a mini course, it's for free like I mentioned. And like I said, you can easily memorize 120 items, let's say for 100%, in the right order even. You can go even backwards with only 20 minutes of work. So give it a shot, log in and give it a go. For those that, again, like I mentioned, that are very interested in their university results and want to take it very seriously, this is a more like a full-scale course, a very extensive course. This is the landing page where you can have a look at what's about. It shows you a bit like an introduction video, what is required to make sure this is happening, and also some frequently asked questions. It's offered for only 99 euros for this academic year, starting with this academic year. So it includes the full 3-pyramid study system, the other in a game of successful students, because often there's a confusion around that, tips and tricks to help you move forward, things like that. Everything is offered in a highly quality videos, uploads, very understandable instructions, online, and you can take it at your own pace. So give it a shot. Fast Track University, make studying at university easier, more efficient, and much more fun, by the way. Just give it a shot. So if you're struggling in any way, or if you're concerned in starting up your studies, you need a study system, because most likely you don't have one. So give it a look and let me know how it's going.